Rafael Leao. Now, look, he's being linked with a move to Barcelona. I think everybody's still trying to figure out what the hell's going to happen with them and Nico Williams, but it seems like it's probably not going to happen, right? Like we saw Bilbao give Nico Williams the number 10, right? There's talks about him possibly signing a new contract with a higher release clause, and it's not really looking good for Barcelona, right? Now, if you're Barca, right, this puts you in a very awkward situation because you see what your biggest rivals are doing, right? You see what Real Madrid, you see what the big boys in Spain are doing, right? Mbappe on a free, Jude, Vinny, Rodrigo, Arda Güler, Chouameni, Camavinga, Fede Valverde, Luka Modric, friggin' Antonio Rudiger, Militao, Danny Carvajal, Courtois, Ferland Mendy. Bro, it's like I'm reading out the Avengers, okay? Barcelona have to go against the Avengers multiple times a season, and they got to find a way to strengthen, right? Because you don't go and bring in a manager like Hansi Flick if you don't plan on competing, right? And Barcelona, they are a big club, so they have expectations, right? The fans are going to expect them to compete for La Liga. They're going to expect them to go deep and win the Champions League, right? And then you also, aside from Real Madrid, you got to worry about the other bums that are in Madrid, right? Atletico, they're doing a madness, right? Julian Alvarez, right? Alexander Sorloth. They're not playing around. So Barca have to find a way to strengthen. They have to find a way to make themselves competitive. And Nico Williams was their first target, right? Like that was the first name off the list. And it makes sense because of the chemistry that he has with Lamine Yamal, right? These guys just won the Euros where they were damn near the two best players on the pitch. Like Spain won the Euros because of their wing play. And Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams already had so much chemistry that it only made sense to go get him, and he's young as well. But Bilbao, they making it tough, boy. So look, Barca got to look at some alternatives. And a name that's getting thrown around is AC Milan's winger, Rafael Leão. Now, right off the bat, I don't know if I can see this deal happening because of the money that would be involved. Rafael Leão would cost more than Nico Williams would. About 40 million more. And you guys know, these Italian teams, they're not like, yeah, you can buy one of their star players off of them, but like the big Italian teams, they're like the mafia, right? If you think of AC Milan, Inter Milan, Napoli, right? Juve, it's very hard to get players off of them. And they're going to want a lot of money for Rafael Leão. Like, don't think that you're going to be able to go there with a little bullshit offer of like 80 million. No. They're going to want like 100, 120 million to sell this guy. And if I'm Barcelona, I would maybe have him on my transfer list, but do they have the money to pay for him, right? Everybody tells me that Barcelona are in financial issues, right? Like they don't have money to spend and that they're so broke. And I always say, I don't believe that Barca are as broke as they want everybody to believe. I think they do have financial issues, but I don't think it's all doom and gloom, right? Like, bro, for me, these guys always say that they're broke, and then they end up going out there, and then they splash money, right? They said they couldn't buy anybody, and then they brought in Robert Lewandowski, Jules Koundé, and these other guys. So I'm not necessarily believing that Barca are just skin. I think they do have money, but I don't think that they have enough to bring in a Rafael Leão. Too expensive. Now, I think he would do well in La Liga, right? Even though I think Leão is a bit overrated, he is a good player, right? But I think his qualities, right, and what he can do in Spain, right, a league that's much slower, right, you're going to have a lot more time on the ball, right? I think his pace and power, he could do some damage here. And he is technically a good player on the ball, right? I think his crossing's a little bit right? To me, he's more so one of those wingers that cuts inside and shoots, right? Like he's not a creative winger that's going to be whipping in crosses and, creating a bunch of chances for the strikers, right? Like he kind of likes to play in and around the box, cutting inside, if that makes sense. And I think he would be a good signing for them, right? I think that he would offer them something different in their attack because Barca, they are going to need some help on that left wing. I know that they signed Danny Olmo, right, from RB Leipzig, but he's better in midfield. He's better as attacking midfielder, right? He can't play on the wings, but I don't think Barcelona would really want him there for a majority of the time. And I think this is why you see them going after a Nico Williams or a Rafael Leao, right? And I think Leao on that left wing, he's better than Rafinha. And Barca, they didn't bring back João Felix, right? João Felix was playing on that left wing last season, but they decided to not try and bring him back. So, yeah, they got to address it. And I would be very surprised if this deal went through. I mean, chat, let me know what you guys think about this. Rafael Leao to Barcelona. Like, is this a deal that even sounds like it makes sense? Because for me, just off the financial level, the financial point of it, how could this happen? You saw Rafael Leão getting linked with the move to Al Hilal about a month ago. And they were saying that Al Hilal were ready to pay 175 million. Because now that I'm talking about it, I'm just remembering that he has a release clause of like 150 million or something crazy like that. And I don't think AC Milan are going to want to sell. AC Milan are watching their crosstown rivals Inter win the league, right? Like Inter are the best team in Italy. You're telling me that AC Milan are going to want to sell one of their best players? So you're going to probably have to pay that release clause. But where's that money going to come from? And again, I do think Barcelona will make one more big signing because you brought Hansi Flick in, right? Like once you signed him as your manager, when you sacked Xavi, that let me know that Barcelona, they are trying to compete, right? Like they are trying to be competitive. That's why when there's all these reports about them selling all their best players to raise funds, I don't see that happening. Because then why would Hansi Flick agree to that deal? He'd be setting himself up to fail because everybody's going to be expecting you to win trophies. And how are you going to do that if you don't sign players and if you don't keep your best players? But look, we'll see. We will see. I just can't see them spending this kind of money. But Rafael Leao, he is a decent player, for sure. For sure. He's 25 years old, right? He could play as a left wing. He can also play as a center forward. But I think he's just best out wide, right? I mean, the times that I've watched AC Milan play and he was up front, he didn't really put in the best performance, right? Maybe that's due to the talent that's around him, maybe because of the system. But I think you'd be buying him to play on the left wing, right? Lamine Yamal already has that right wing locked up, but he's going to need help. Right? And I know people are like, oh, well, do you want Barca to get stronger? Yes. I actually do want Barca to get stronger, right? Just because I'm a Real Madrid fan doesn't mean that I don't want them to sign good players because I don't care about them, right? And the thing is, it doesn't matter if they sign Rafael Leao and then if they go sign N'Golo Kante. I don't care. They're not a threat to me. And I think if they're able to strengthen, it can only benefit La Liga. It can only benefit El Clasicos. I've brought this up on streams before. But El Clasicos, it seems like it doesn't mean that much anymore, right? Like, people still talk about it. Like, oh, yeah, El Clasico's on today. But, like, it's like, yeah, it's on today. It's like, aside from the Real Madrid and Barca fans, world football in general, it's just not as hyped up as it used to be. And I think it's because of the super squad that Florentino Perez has assembled. And we've seen Barca, they're struggling at the moment. Last season went trophyless, right? Xavi, first he said that he was going to leave. Then they convinced him to stay. Then they sacked him. This is all in the span of like 5 months. Then they brought in Hansi Flick, who you saw have a real successful stint at Bayern Munich. One of the best managers that was available. So, look, get the deal done, bro. Get it done. Get it done, right? Like, you guys can have a puncher's chance because I'm telling you, bro, once Mbappe, Vinny, and these guys learn how to play with each other, it's over, bro. People. As I said, man, get in the chat. Let me know what you think about Rafael Leao possibly going to Barcelona. Is this a deal that you guys like or you don't like it?